Shut up and sit down.
Good evening everyone, it's your man of the hour, the Tower of Power, the living legend of professional wrestling punditry. Hello, my name is Lee Hazel and this is the Steel Chair Show, where we stare into the abyss between what the fans want from a professional wrestling product and everything WWE actually puts out. This week is actually a bit of a shame. You see, the brief I had pitched to the Vulture Overlords was to create a show that would show the distance between what fans want from WWE and what they give us. And if I had the foresight to record myself with an actual visual camera, you would see that I had one hand representing what we want and one hand representing what WWE wants. And if you could see me now, you would see that I have my hands rather far apart. But unfortunately for me, this week they've actually given us hardcore fans something to cheer unironically about. As you probably already know, in the wake of Finn Balor's injury, they've crowned Kevin Owens as champion. Now that tells us something that I have been a massive skeptic of for months now, that WWE are actually committed to this new generation of stars. Proof of that was shown at last month's SummerSlam when they put the belt on Finn Balor in the first place, a talent who was only just risen up from the developmental ranks of NXT. But when he got injured, WWE didn't have to carry on down that road. They could have easily put the belt back on Rollins or even Roman Reigns. Now why Reigns, you might ask? Well, that's easy. We, the IWC, the internet fans, the most hardcore fans, we gave them all the excuses they could have possibly wanted to put the belt back on the guy. God, that is the worst nickname ever. Whenever I hear that, I just think some guy. Not the guy, just some guy. Now, the reason they could have easily gone back to Reigns after the whole Balor-Rollins main event at SummerSlam was because that match yielded one of the most negative and quite frankly disappointing smart crowd reactions I've ever seen, as well as the buzz that dominated social media. WWE had every right to put the brakes on the whole new era thing by focusing their energy on how crap the belt looked while the two men were working their hearts out in the ring. All WWE fans were convincing management of is the fact that they would boo anything given half the chance. That crowd in Brooklyn were essentially telling WWE creative that it's not the passion for the product that drives crowds like that, nor the desire to see their favourite wrestlers pushed. I mean, two of the biggest indie stars of the last decade, one from New Japan, one from ROH, were tearing it up, and the crowd were booing the belt. Like, what? What they were telling WWE is that they would find anything to boo, no matter the quality of the in-ring action. So the hardcore elite fans that plague WWE crowds are going to boo title matches even when the fan favourites are involved. And if they're going to boo WWE's own hand-picked champion, then why shouldn't they go with the hand-picked champion if the result's just going to be the same either way? That's what I had predicted for the Fatal 4-Way on Raw, in any case. WWE having the new era stars momentum being taken away from them by the crowd themselves, by the most hardcore fans, over something so trivial as a belt design. I was really expecting WWE to see this as the fans giving them the green light to have the belt put back on Roman Reigns and to continue down the road that they had already set upon back at the beginning of the year. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? They boo him? They booed the Rollins and Balor match. It would be perfect for them. They really get to stick it to the IWC, whose influence has gotten stronger and stronger over WWE events. WWE are really starting to resent them for that. But it would have been a huge continuation of the pattern that I've seen emerging from WWE for months, if not years now. It seems to me that WWE in the past hasn't been using the talent that they've been acquiring from the indie promotions correctly. I think this problem goes all the way back to CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. They get the talent, tease us with their hypothetical success, but when it comes to pulling the trigger, they get apprehensive and fall back on their decades-old booking routines, pushing big guys and industry legends, most of whom part-time. This happens with such regularity that I was starting to believe that WWE weren't picking these big indie names to make stars out of them, but rather to deprive any competition from making stars of their own. After all, companies like ROH and Lucha Underground are making quite decent headway on American networks, letting the people know that WWE isn't the be-all and end-all of wrestling options. So they've got this talent. They waste it. Their competition isn't what it could be, and WWE rolls right along like Vince does that ridiculous swagger he uses when he walks down to the ring. He looks like a T-Rex with bigger arms. And this is how they've done things forever. But on Raw they showed the first signs of real change. Now you could argue that Owens is now the man because the alternatives are either too green, not established enough, or in Rollins and Reigns' case, either facing reprimands for substance abuse or for injuring a second opponent. But regardless, Owens was the best choice to follow up WWE's New Era initiative anyway. He's only in his second year with the company. He's had Match of the Night contender after Match of the Year contender, and he's one of the faces that wrestling fans would love to see as one of the top performers of the company. His crowning is a sign of real and positive change. Now, and this is where the whole difference between what we want and what WWE want thing comes into the video. Triple H being the deciding factor in this title change was far from ideal. It puts authority members front and center again when the spotlight should be on the full-time performers, already struggling to step out of the shadows of the established talent. It makes the real story of the night Triple H versus Rollins rather than Owens versus whoever they decide to put Owens up against. The story should really be about the Universal title as a whole, the focus on that brand new established belt. But whereas we've been used to WWE programming putting one step forward and two steps back, making Owens the champion after making Finn Balor the champion is actually more of a case of putting two steps forward and one step back. And I'm optimistic we can call that progress. Well folks, there you have it. That was the first ever Steel Chair Shot. Thank you for listening to all of my ramblings, and please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment if you agree or disagree. Check out the mag below and I'll catch you all on social media.